Welcome to AK's Eduverse. If you are a B.Ed student looking for easy exam preparation, you're in the right place. So let's make learning very simple, right? In today's video, we are going to see about the basic topic in B.Ed, but this topic is quite repeated. Like it is very important topic, and it is most frequently repeated 10-mark question, and at times it is also asked in 6-mark, and there were times it is asked in both 10-mark as well as in 6-mark. Today's topic, which we are going to see in detail, is Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom's taxonomy பத்தி கம்ப்ளீட்டா பார்க்க போறோம். So as I already said, this is one of the most frequently asked 10-mark question, and many students find it difficult to remember the 6 levels and how to explain them in the examination. So don't worry. In this video, I'll explain Bloom's taxonomy in a simple way with meanings, action verbs. I'm also going to give you subject-wise examples so that it will be easy for you to relate the topic, and you'll be able to replicate in your examination. Along with that, the importance and limitations, which is must when you complete the entire 10-mark question. So by the end of this video, you'll be confident enough to write this answer in your examination. So let's get started. So first, we are going to see the definition of Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom's taxonomy is a classification of education learning objectives developed by Benjamin Bloom in 1956. So Benjamin Bloom is the person who developed this concept in 1956. So simply சொன்னா டீச்சர் ஒரு லெசன் பிளான் பண்ணும்போது ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் என்ன லெவல் வரைக்கும் லேர்ன் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ட்டு கைட் பண்ணுற ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க் தான் ப்ளூம்ஸ் டாக்ஸானமி. So it organizes learning from simple thinking skills to complex thinking skills. So initially students starts by remembering facts, right? So then they move on to understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and finally creating something new. So an interesting point to remember is that this taxonomy was later revised in 2001 by Anderson and Rathhold, where the names were changed into action verbs like remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Now let's look at the famous Bloom's taxonomy pyramid. So the pyramid, the triangle shaped structure, so the pyramid consists of 6 cognitive levels, starting from the bottom: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and finally create, which is at the highest level. So in the pyramid la or important concept irukku. So the first 3 levels, that is remember, understand, and apply, they are called as lower order thinking skills, or in simple terms, lots. The first letter la collect panni, it is called as lots. Similarly, the top 3, that is analyze, evaluate, and create, these are called as higher order thinking skills. Together we can call it as HOTS. சிம்பிளாக சொன்னால் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபேக்ட்ஸ் ஞாபகம் வச்சுருப்பாங்க, கரெக்டாக? ஸோ அப்புறம் கான்செப்ட்ஸ் புரிஞ்சுப்பாங்க, அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிப்பாங்க, அப்புறம் அதை வந்து அப்ளை பண்ணுவாங்க, அதை யூஸ் பண்ணிப்பாங்க, அப்புறம் அனலைஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க என்ன தப்பு என்ன கரெக்டுன்ட்டு, அதை வச்சு ஜட்ஜ் பண்ணுவாங்க, தட் இஸ் ஒன்லி எவாலுவேட்டிங், அண்ட் ஃபைனலி ஓன் ஐடியாஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ தட்ஸ் ஹவ் த லேர்னிங் ப்ராக்ரஸஸ் அக்கார்டிங் டு ப்ளூம்ஸ் டாக்ஸானமி. Let's begin with the first level, which is remember. Remember means அப்படின்னா it's recalling or recognizing previously learned information. சிம்பிளாக சொன்னால் ஆல்ரெடி படித்ததை ஞாபகம் வச்சு சொல்கிறது தான் ரிமெம்பர், கரெக்டா? ஸோ இட்ஸ் ரீகாலிங் அண்ட் ரிகக்னைசிங் ப்ரீவியஸ்லி லேர்ன்ட் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். ஸோ நோ எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன், நோ ரீசனிங் ஸ்கில்ஸ், ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ரீகாலிங் த ஃபேக்ட்ஸ். ஸோ இங்கே வந்து ஆக்ஷன் வேர்ப்ஸ் என்னெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா லிஸ்ட், ரீகால், define, identify, name. So இதெல்லாம் தான் action verbs. So when you're for example, if you're going to frame a question, so you can use these action verbs, right? So English எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா one example, list the parts of the speech. Mathematicsல state the multiplications table of 8. Scienceல name the planets in the solar system. Socialல list the fundamental rights of India. So notice one thing, in all these examples, students only expect to remember the information. They don't have to explain or justify or reason out their answer. So the teaching tip here I would suggest is at this level, teachers can use flashcards, quizzes, or matching activities or oral questioning to check whether the student remembers the basic concept or not. It is just for recalling and remembering. Now let's move to the second level, which is understand. Understanding means explaining ideas or concepts in your own words. இந்த லெவலில் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு ஆன்சர் தெரிஞ்சிருந்தா மட்டும் போதாது. They have to understand the concept. கான்செப்டும் புரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். So that's the difference between remember and understand. So some common action verbs used here are explain, describe, interpret, summarize, classify, etc. So few examples I've given for every subject. So just two examples அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சயின்ஸில் describe the process of photosynthesis or mathsல வந்து explain why half is equal to 2 by 4. So here students not only no not simply recall the information, they are showing that they understand the concept. So instead of just asking what is kind of questions, we have to ask why do you think or can you explain this in your own words? So these type of questions will help students develop deeper understanding. Let's move to the third level, which is apply. Till now, students have remembered the information and understood the concept. But now comes the real question. Can they use what they have learned? So that's exactly what apply means. So apply means using knowledge in a new or real life situation. So simple சொன்னா படிச்சதை practically use பண்றது தான் application or apply. So some common action verbs are use, demonstrate, solve, calculate, show, illustrate. So let's understand this with few examples. Use the past tense correctly in 5 sentences. Or science-ல வந்து demonstrate how a simple electric circuit works. Social science-ல use a map to locate the states of South India. So if you notice the difference, remember level-ல answer ஞாபகம் வச்சு சொன்னா போதும். So understand level-ல explain பண்ணுவோம். Apply level-ல actually use பண்ணணும். So teaching tip here I would say is instead of giving only textbook questions, give students a real life situations. For example, if a shop gives 20% discount, can you calculate the final price? So this helps students apply their knowledge confidently. Whatever they remember and whatever they understood, they will apply in this level. So we've completed the lots part, that is lower order thinking skills. Remember, understand and apply. Now we are going to move to the higher order thinking skills. So the first one here is analyze. So analyze means breaking information into parts and understanding the relationship between them. To be very simple, it is like ஒரு கான்செப்டை கம்பேர் பண்ணுறது, அப்புறம் அந்த டிஃப்ரென்சஸ் வந்து கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது, ரீசனை அனலைஸ் பண்ணுறது தான் அனலைஸ். Students don't just answer the question, they think deeply. So some action verbs here are compare, differentiate, analyze, categorize, examine, distinguish. So let's look at some examples. Compare the two main characters in the story. Find the mistakes in the given solution. Science you can say compare plant cell and animal cell. Socially you can say differentiate between democracy and dictatorship. So in the level student வந்து why and how questions-க்கு answer தேட ஆரம்பிப்பாங்க. So instead of memorizing, so they start thinking. So teachers can use Venn diagrams, comparison charts, or cause and effect activities, or sometimes case studies to improve this analytical thinking skill of the student. The fifth level is evaluate. Evaluate means making judgment based on evidence, facts, or logical reasoning. எது better, எது correct, why னு reason கொடுத்து decide பண்ணுறது தான் evaluate. Students should not simply give their opinion. They should justify it with valid reasons. So common action verbs are judge, assess, evaluate, justify, recommend, criticize, etc. So few examples if you see, write and publish your own short story or create a new math puzzle for your classmate. So few examples which you could see is review a short story and justify your opinion. Mathematics வந்து choose the best method to solve the problem and explain why you have chosen that particular method அப்படின்னு explain பண்ணணும். சயின்ஸில் வந்து do you think plastic should be banned? Justify your answer. Socialல evaluate the impact of globalization on society. So see the difference. Analyzeனா கம்பேர் பண்ணுவோம், எவாலுவேட்னா டிசிஷன் எடுப்போம் வித் த ரீசன். ஸோ கம்பேர் பண்ணிவிட்டு எது கரெக்ட் எது தப்புன்னு டிசிஷன் எடுக்கிறது தான் எவாலுவேட். ஸோ தட்ஸ் த கீ டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் பிட்வீன் போத். So teaching tip here I would say is encourage classroom discussions like do you agree? Ask students why? Can you support your answer? So these kind of questions comes under the evaluation skill. Finally, we have reached the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy, that is create. Create means putting ideas together to produce something new and original. ஸோ ஆல்ரெடி தெரிஞ்ச நாலேஜ் யூஸ் பண்ணி புதுசாக ஒரு ஐடியா மாடல் ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் ஒரு ஸ்டோரி இல்லை ஒரு சொல்யூஷன் க்ரியேட் பண்ணுறது தான் க்ரியேட். ஸோ சம் ஆக்ஷன் வேர்ப்ஸ் ஹியர் ஆர் டிசைன், டெவலப், கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட், கம்போஸ், create, plan, etc. So examples, if you see here, English you can say write and publish your own short story. சொல்லலாம். Then mathematics you can say create a new math puzzle for your classmate. Science you can say design a model of a sustainable city. Social you can say prepare a campaign plan to promote equality and justice. These are the few examples, subject wise examples. So this is the highest level because students are no longer learning from others. They are creating something of their own. So in a teaching tip I would suggest is activities like project works can be given, a model making, poster design, role playing, storytelling, presentations are excellent way to develop the creativity. Now that we've understood all 6 levels, let's see why Bloom's taxonomy is so important. As future teachers, இது கண்டிப்பா நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்க வேண்டிய concept, right? So first point, it provides clear learning goals. So Bloom's taxonomy helps teachers set a clear and a measurable learning objectives. இந்த lesson முடியும் போது students என்ன learn பண்ணிருக்கணும் அப்படின்ட்டு plan பண்ண இது help பண்ணும். For example, if you're teaching photosynthesis, your objective can be to make students first remember the process, then understand it, and finally apply it in the real life situation. So second வந்து it promotes HOT, that is higher order thinking. இந்த taxonomy students மெமரைசேஷனுக்கு மட்டும் லிமிட் பண்ணாமல் அனலைஸ் பண்ண வைக்கும், evaluate and create லெவலுக்கு கொண்டு போகுது. So instead of simply asking what is pollution, we can ask how can pollution be reduced in your locality. So just see the difference. Students starts thinking deeply. So third point, it improves lesson planning. So teachers can design lesson plan in proper sequence from simple concept to the complex concepts. Simpler சொன்னா lesson randomly teach பண்ணாம step by step students ஓட understanding build பண்ண help பண்ணுது. So fourth point, it's about enhances assessment. Like every educational model, Bloom's taxonomy also has few limitations. இது ரொம்ப useful framework தான், ஆனால் perfect modelனு சொல்ல முடியாது. So let's look at some of its limitations. First, rigid hierarchy. The model present learning as a fixed order, but in reality learning is not always step by step. Simpler சொன்னா students sometimes analyze பண்ணலாம் before fully remembering everything. So learning doesn't always happen in same sequence. Second வந்து it focuses mainly on the cognitive domains. So Bloom's taxonomy mainly focuses on thinking skills. But learning is not just about thinking, right? Emotions வேணும், attitudes develop பண்ணணும், values inculcate பண்ணணும், practical skills are also equally important. So இந்த aspectsக்கு original taxonomyல ரொம்ப importance கொடுக்கல. Here comes the most important part of this video. How do you write this question in your B.Ed exam to score maximum marks? So many students know the concept. ஆனால் ஆன்சர் ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ண தெரியாமல் மார்க்ஸ் லூஸ் பண்ணிடுவோம், கரெக்டா? ஸோ ஃபாலோ திஸ் சிம்பிள் ஃபார்மேட். Step 1, you have to start with the definition. So first write the definition of Bloom's taxonomy and mention that it was developed by Benjamin Bloom in 1956, like highlighted the keynotes-la போட்டுருங்க. Next, if you remember, you can also mention that it was devised by Anderson and Rathwell in 2001. So that's an extra point, right? So next, And then draw the pyramid diagram, a neat diagram with all the 6 levels. Don't worry, neat or simple pyramid draw பண்ணா போதும். So label the levels correctly. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So a diagram always makes your answer more attractive. And if possible, put a bracket and tell which is slots and which is hots. Next வந்து explain the 6 levels. So இது வந்து now explain each level one by one. Okay, wow. What is the meaning? And give few verbs, action verbs. And then one or two examples, at least two examples from different subjects or which your major if it's going to be your major subject, you can use from that particular subject also. So you don't have to write a long paragraph. Make it as bulletin points. Short points with one examples are more than enough. Next, after jotting down all the 6 levels, then you have to write about the importance. So mention how Bloom's taxonomy helps in lesson planning, setting learning objective, assessment, higher order thinking, and student-centered learning. Next, limitation. After the importance, mention few limitations like learning is not always sequential or it may not suit every learner. So, அந்த மாதிரி few points கொடுத்துடணும். Then finally, write a short conclusion. Always end a 10-mark answer with a few lines of conclusion. Conclude in 2 or 3 lines by saying that Bloom's taxonomy helps teachers develop effective learning experience and improves student thinking skills. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு few points கொடுத்து முடிச்சிடணும். So one important exam tip which I would suggest is presentation matters. So use headings, as many headings possible. ஒரு main heading குள்ள ஒரு sub heading கொடுங்க. Then bulletin points. Underline the important keywords. And if possible, use ruler by drawing the pyramid diagram. So content கரெக்டாக இருக்கணும், presentation நீட்டாக இருக்கணும், அப்போ definitely நல்ல மார்க்ஸ் ஸ்கோர் பண்ண முடியும். So Bloom's taxonomy takes students from remembering facts to creating new ideas, and that's exactly what meaningful learning is all about. So as future teachers, understanding this concept will not only help you score well in your B.Ed examination, but it will also help you become a more effective teacher in your classroom. I hope this video made Bloom's taxonomy easy to understand and easy to remember for all of you. And one more thing, I've also prepared a handwritten notes for this topic in a simple notebook format. அதோட link in the video descriptionல attach பண்ணிருக்கேன். If you'd like a quick revision before your exam, make sure to check it out after watching this video. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to AK's Eduverse for more B.Ed exam preparation videos. Also, let me know in comments which B.Ed topic would you like me to explain next. And until then, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching AK Eduverse.